Welcome back. Well, confirmation, I'm afraid, of the story that's kind of a real impact on you. And I'm not actually talking about load shedding for a change. I'm talking about the price of petrol shooting up again, I'm afraid. The price of 93 octane going up by R2.37 a litre. 95 octane up by R2.50. Diesel up by over R2.30 a litre. It's a huge increase. It comes after a series of so many bigger increases, and these increases have come so quickly. Layton Beard is the spokesperson for the AA. Layton, good afternoon to you. Look, we did expect this, but it's still, to receive confirmation, it's still such a big increase.
Yeah, I mean, when you looked at the numbers over June, Stephen, the fact that we were going to have a R1.80 under recovery wasn't news to anybody in terms of 95 petrol. So, yes, I mean, I think the increases weren't unexpected. But when you add that 75 cents of the fuel levy back into the mix and you get these big increases and you see it in black and white, I think it does hit home a little harder. When you calculate what fuel is going to cost going forward, I think that's where the real shock comes in. You know, a R2.55 increase to the price of fuel is incredibly significant. It's right up there with the highest we've ever had. And the way that this is going to filter into the economy is that everything is just going to become that much more expensive. You might not see it immediately in individual prices, but the cumulative effect of all of these increases is certainly going to hit already embattled consumers very hard. And we will see that having an impact further down the line. And the economy as a whole, I think, is going to take a knock because of this.
Did the Energy Ministry have any other option today? I mean, people have been trying to do what they can with the fuel levy, but that can't go on forever.
Yeah, I mean, the government indicated that it couldn't continue with a R1.50 reduction of the fuel levy. They've said that they don't have enough strategic fuel stocks to cover whatever losses they're experiencing for that, which is in the region of about R7 billion a month. We make the point as well that, we acknowledge the fact that in terms of the rand-US dollar exchange rate and in terms of international petroleum prices, government has very little wiggle room and very little leeway. And I think that, we need to acknowledge that, which we do. But when we look at further measures that need to be taken, and this is a recurring question, what can government do? Well, we are saying one of the most critical things that needs to happen is we need to unpack this fuel price. We need to look at the components of that fuel price, and we need to determine if all of them are calculated correctly through a proper audit of those numbers, and we need to bring the experts in. They need to look at that, and they need to say, the price that we're paying is the price that is there, or there is some way that we can mitigate against that. We can't do that. Government needs to call the experts in, and they need to do that as soon as possible.
Do you think that there's actually much room now? I mean, there's been talk about some sort of change. I remember the Finance Minister, Enoch Godongwana, the Energy Minister, Gwede Mantashe, sort of talking about this. I haven't seen any movement, and the crisis is only getting worse.
Yeah, and I think that's obviously unfortunate. And I think from the point of view of consumers in South Africa, they would like to see some movement from government in terms of, this is what we're doing, this is what we want to do with the fuel price. We're not sure what the outcome is going to be. If the outcome is that the price that we pay is the price that there is and there's no way to get around it, I think South Africans will at least acknowledge the fact that that exercise was done. But in the absence of that exercise, there are too many questions that people keep asking and raising about the fuel price, about the basic fuel price, about the import parity price, which is the price that we pay for the landed product in South Africa before all other costs are added to it. So I think that from an optic point of view from government's side is something that actually needs to be done as a matter of urgency. There are other things that government needs to look at in terms of its revenue and its expenditure. We've made the point as well that, one of the big factors in terms of the fuel price is the allocation of funds and where money is going. And that brings in this discussion of graft and corruption and dealing with that. So I think government does have a responsibility to deal with some issues that may seem on the sidelines, but they need to deal with those as well.
The problem, of course, Layton, is it's not going to get better next month, is it? We're going to have another 75 cents from the fuel levy coming back. It's likely prices go up again.
Yeah, I mean, as long as that situation in the Ukraine remains unresolved, we're going to be stuck, I think, with these problems. And, we're already beginning August on the back foot. as you rightfully said, that other 75 cents of the fuel levy is coming back unless government makes some moves to deal with that, which, they've indicated they won't. But, anything can happen. But, already back foot of 75 cents. And then we've got to look at what are the numbers telling us in terms of international petroleum prices. So, when those prices go higher, we know we're in for a bit of a hiding. And, we'll have to see what those numbers give us. But certainly, I think the outlook at the moment is not positive, Stephen.
Layton Beard, thank you very much indeed. Spokesperson for the AA. I'm afraid a lot more interviews.